Oh, God.
I can move.
Done.
Like many of you, I grew up in the late 1990s, and in just about every video and magazine, there were shots from Kamloops, British Columbia. The town's always been known for massive jumps, these insane drops, and these rip and scree line descents, kind of like the snowboard movies. This was the very beginning of the freeride movement, and there weren't necessarily official freeride trails by any means. In fact, there really weren't any trails at all. So to come from that kind of a beginning, I'm curious how that trajectory's been and what the clubs had to go through to get to where they are now. And I have a hunch that some of these legal trails might just have some pretty good sized senders on them.
Oh, God. You guys are nuts.
Let's load up the van, drive a few hours north, and check out Kamloops. At that point, the sport was still brand new, and most of the stuff those guys were doing, while it was rad, it was just, they did it. They didn't worry about if it was legal or not.
Monkeying around. High performance sandals.
There's nothing. Well, we only had one zone.
Dustin Adams. He's born and raised Kamloops, British Columbia, as a former UCI World Cup downhill pro, and today he owns a company that makes mountain bike components in Kamloops.
And they rip.
Yeah, we try to rip. I don't know if I rip anymore. Rip my pants, maybe. Yeah.
Round her out. Put her in an easy gear, fella.
How old are you, Levi? 7. Nice.
I had one area, Peterson Creek, was illegal, and when I was racing, I decided to rent an excavator one day. We had some dirt jumps over by the ranch, and I was digging up there, and I got fined.
Not only is Dustin a great rider today, but he can give us a bit of perspective as to what the scene was like back in the mid and late 1990s.
No, like 2 months after I got sued, it turned into houses.
Oh, okay.
They plowed her all down now, so houses. So yeah, it kind of sucks double time.
We buttered it, dude. There's a bear in that tree.
That is so good.
That's super fun.
That's our guy, John, on the red.
That's, well, he's moving turf, right? When you start digging, getting a buddy's bobcat and start pushing dirt around, somebody's gonna say something.
To learn some more about the KBRA and what they're all about, I think it's crucial we speak with John Osborne, the club president.
Good morning. How's it going, John?
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
You as well. You guys rode with Dustin. He's an icon from way back in the day.
We had a great time. Yeah, we had a great shoot. And it was a great perspective. I know Kamloops is like the super famous freeride spot.
Sure.
But then like back in those days, there weren't that many legal opportunities. But today, like it's totally different landscape, legal stuff all over.
So the hardest thing is building trust with the community, right?
It was all about liability. Liability, everyone was worried about liability. That was the main thing that spawned a lot of advocates to come and push forward saying, listen, we're gonna build the trails properly and sustainably and make sure they're safe to a standard.
Yeah! Woo!
The headlines back in the papers were illegal mountain bike trails in Juniper, illegal bike trails in Rose Hill.
Scott, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Scott, the vice president of the KBRA, has been at the club since its very first days and can give us some perspective on their quite humble beginnings.
So, I remember putting an outhouse on my line of credit. And, we made some mistakes. It was hard. We bit off way more than we could chew. So I remember some of our early days, having our AGM, putting it on the internet, expecting 100 people to show up and have 8 people sitting out in the room. 5 of them are board members.
It's like they say, you're only strong in numbers. So that has been our biggest mandate, is increasing that membership. No matter what we're doing in the community, it's all dialed into one thing, and that's getting membership and creating an amazing experience for those members.
Kamloops is in every magazine, right? But then it's like, what is the actual user's experience when they get here? A lot of those jumps are kind of out and nobody knows where they are except for a couple people.
As I've been calling the board of directors for the KBRA, everyone has mentioned the significance of Catherine Pendrell. Catherine's an Olympian, she's a multi-time world champion, and she's highly competitive in the UCI World Cup cross-country scene.
You're gonna have different opinions and different directions of where people want to go. And so really when I came in, it was about finding what our need was in the community. It's like, do we need to be building trails? Do we need to be sanctioning the trails we already have, just doing maintenance, or building our community?
It's one way to go through.
The KPCC has been doing a great job with some of the managed areas in town, and we had our managed areas, and we just wanted to build our base of riders so that there's more people giving back to the trails, more people fueling the Stoke.
Yeah! Just sending it, Catherine.
Really took a community focus, which I think helped us ease in and kind of like find our niche in the community.
Oh!
It gives us a louder voice. It gives us more of a say if we want to increase our trail systems, or if we want to build bike lanes, or if we want to have a management team and process to manage our trails. We have a voice to go to whoever we need to talk to and say, look it. This for our people, we need this to happen. It'd be nice if we could work in this park here or do this.
Group rides have been huge. We started doing those about 2 years ago now. And then the biggest part was just the social part too. Like I talked about my first AGM was we set it up in a meeting room downtown. Didn't really offer anything. You know, last year's AGM was having it in a room, beer on tap, a social part to it, promoting it on social media, just bringing the community together just to talk, right? And just talk about our love of biking and what a great sport it is.
I really wanted our community to have this good feel. I wanted people to come to town and be like, know how to find the trails, know who to ride with, and just get a feeling of Stoke from being in my town and like seeing all the rad stuff here.
Thank you.
As I've been planning out this local loam series, I saw that the KBRA just won a grant for $17,000. One of the programs this grant's gonna help fund is the Kids League. I wanna meet Chris Martin, he's the director of the Kids League, and he seems pretty fired up about this whole program.
I started to get to know Catherine a little bit, and I was like, you know what, we need to get something going with Catherine. We should race, let's do something. So I fully cold called her, and we met. And next thing you know, 3 years later, 70 kids, jerseys, races, prizes, you know, it's turned into something really, really fantastic. We're really proud of it.
I saw the potential, I saw what I wanted my community to look like and my riding community. And so when they approached me to come in, I was a little overwhelmed, but I'm like, I'll figure it out. Like, how hard can running a board meeting be, right?
If we do it in the right way, where we get kids excited about being a part of the sport, they're going to continue to be a part of the sport and maybe give back like what we're doing with the community.
I think, you know, if you got the right people standing behind it and obviously the community, you know, supporting it, the sky's the limit, man. Like our terrain here and what we have to go into and different land and the trail systems, you know, we were that mountain bike mecca, you know, and we're starting to sense it back again. You know, at the end of the day, I hope it's, you know, you get this membership like with surrounding communities, get it right up there, you know, and the memberships tell you the success, right? And we're getting there. So if we get up 1,000, 2,000 members in our community, I say that's pretty rad and tangible.
To see what we have grown as far as access here is amazing. I mean, to have one illegal riding zone when I was racing to now, kids have a plethora.
We've grown the sport, we've grown the usage in the park, you know, being able to prove the value, and that kind of that, for us, that's what the advocacy is.
When you've got Stoke and you've got good vibes, then everything just seems to get a lot better.
The spirit of the founders of Freeride is still alive and well here in Kamloops with plenty of opportunities to send it. A big thanks to everyone at the KBRA for meeting with us, and a huge thanks to all my sponsors that make content like this possible.